Look at the wars of today. Look at the conflicts unfolding in the Middle East, the tensions rising in Eastern Europe, the power struggles in Asia, and the military doctrines shaping modern armed forces. Almost everything we see in contemporary warfare has its roots in a single global catastrophe, the Second World War. Though the fighting officially ended in 1945, World War II never truly stopped influencing how wars are fought. Its lessons, innovations, and consequences continue to shape military thinking, strategy, and technology to this day. World War II was not just another war, it was a total transformation of warfare itself. Before 1939, wars were often limited in scope, duration, and impact. After 1945, war became something far larger, far more complex, and far more dangerous. The Second World War fundamentally altered how nations think about power, survival, and conflict. The most obvious and terrifying legacy of World War II is nuclear weapons. In August 1945, atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, instantly killing tens of thousands and leaving lasting devastation. In that moment, the nature of war changed forever. Victory was no longer simply about defeating the enemy's army. War now carried the potential to destroy entire civilizations. From that point onward, global conflict revolved around deterrence rather than direct confrontation. The threat of mutual destruction replaced traditional battlefield victories. Nuclear weapons reshaped diplomacy, military planning, and international relations. Every major conflict since World War II has been fought under the shadow of nuclear escalation, even when nuclear weapons themselves were never used. But the influence of World War II goes far beyond nuclear bombs. The war introduced revolutionary technologies that reshaped combat. One of the most important was the idea of precision strike. Today, guided missiles can hit targets with astonishing accuracy. Yet this concept was born during World War II. Nazi Germany developed the V-1 flying bomb, a crude but groundbreaking weapon capable of traveling long distances autonomously. Though inaccurate and designed mainly to terrorize civilians, the V-1 was the ancestor of modern cruise missiles. At the same time, the United States developed the Norden bombsight, a mechanical computer that allowed bombers to calculate bomb trajectories with unprecedented precision. Though far from perfect, it represented a dramatic shift in how air power was conceived. For the first time, militaries believed it was possible to strike specific targets rather than entire cities. This belief laid the groundwork for modern precision warfare. World War II also marked the birth of electronic warfare. Radar systems were developed to detect incoming aircraft. Countermeasures were created to confuse or jam those systems. What began as a technological duel between German radar operators and Allied counter-radar specialists became a new battlefield, one fought not with guns, but with signals and frequencies. Today's conflicts rely heavily on electronic warfare, cyber operations, and signal disruption, all of which trace their origins back to World War II. Another defining legacy was strategic bombing. During the war, entire cities were targeted in massive bombing campaigns. Factories, transportation hubs, and civilian neighborhoods were all considered legitimate objectives. The goal was not just to destroy military capacity, but to break the enemy's will to fight. These campaigns caused immense civilian suffering and raised profound moral questions that continue to haunt modern warfare. From strategic bombing emerged one of the most critical principles of modern combat: air superiority. World War II demonstrated that controlling the skies was essential for success on land and sea. Without air superiority, supply lines could be severed, troop movements exposed, and entire offensives crippled. This lesson became a foundation of post-war military doctrine. Today, no major military operation is launched without first securing control of the air. Logistics also emerged as a decisive weapon during World War II. The Allies ultimately prevailed not only because of superior tactics or bravery, but because they could produce and transport enormous quantities of supplies. They could replace losses faster than the Axis powers. They could sustain prolonged campaigns across multiple continents. The war proved that industrial capacity and supply chains were just as important as soldiers and weapons, a lesson modern militaries take extremely seriously. World War II also refined the concept of combined arms warfare. Victory did not come from tanks alone, or infantry alone, or aircraft alone. It came from coordination. Infantry protected tanks. Tanks supported infantry. Artillery softened enemy defenses. Air power disrupted movement and supply. This integration of forces became the blueprint for modern military operations and remains central to warfare today. The war also gave rise to modern special operations. Small units operating behind enemy lines conducted sabotage, reconnaissance, and targeted strikes. These operations demonstrated that highly trained forces could achieve strategic effects disproportionate to their size. Today's special forces, from commandos to special operations units, are direct descendants of these World War II innovations. Asymmetric warfare also took on new importance. German U-boats threatened Allied supply lines, demonstrating that weaker forces could challenge stronger enemies by targeting logistics rather than armies. This lesson echoes in modern conflicts, where insurgents, guerrillas, and non-state actors rely on disruption rather than direct confrontation. Intelligence became another decisive weapon. The breaking of the German Enigma code allowed the Allies to anticipate enemy actions and avoid disasters. Information, secrecy, and deception proved as powerful as bombs and bullets. Modern intelligence agencies and surveillance systems owe much of their structure and importance to World War II experiences. Psychological warfare also evolved dramatically. Propaganda campaigns aimed to demoralize enemies, inspire resistance, and influence civilian populations. Today, information warfare, disinformation, and psychological operations are central components of conflict, especially in the digital age. World War II also entrenched the concept of total war, the mobilization of entire societies for conflict. Economies were converted to war production. Civilians became targets. The line between front lines and home fronts vanished. This reality continues to define modern warfare, where entire nations are involved, whether directly or indirectly. After the war, new ideas about victory emerged. The Allies demanded unconditional surrender and then undertook the occupation and reconstruction of defeated nations. Germany and Japan were transformed from militaristic regimes into democratic states. This established the idea that winning a war was not enough. Lasting peace required rebuilding and restructuring societies. Finally, World War II reshaped international law. The Nuremberg trials established that individuals could be held accountable for war crimes, even when acting under orders. This principle changed how wars were judged and how leaders were held responsible, at least in theory. In the end, World War II did more than reshape borders. It reshaped warfare itself. It introduced technologies, strategies, and moral dilemmas that continue to define modern conflict. Though the guns fell silent in 1945, the war's legacy lives on. In every missile launch, every military doctrine, and every strategic decision made today. World War II did not just change history. It quietly rewrote the rules of war.
This is one of the wars that changed the world.